Cool. Hey everyone, this is Charles Mitri from loungeboudoir.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to set up your first T4P boudoir shoot. I had to actually look at the title to get it correct. Oh well. How to set up your first T4P boudoir shoot. So there are 4 steps I'm going to go through that will help you set up your first T4P boudoir shoot. First, though, for those of you who don't know what T4P stands for, it stands for time for prints or time for photos. And it's just a way that models and photographers can exchange services so they each get images for their portfolio without having to pay out any money. All right, so step number 1 is you have to know where the shoot is going to take place. You have to lock down your location. Now you have some options here. You can shoot at your place. I started out shooting in the living room of my apartment, my old apartment. I would clear everything out of the living room. I had these hardwood floors. I had a gray wall. I painted it gray on one end, and then I had these windows on the other side that I hung up sheer white curtains to soften the light, and that worked out pretty good. So there's your place. You can possibly shoot at your model's place if that works. You can rent a studio. Just Google in your local area photography studio and there'll be some options that pop up. You can also shoot at a mutual friend's place. Let's say you're shooting a friend and you have a mutual friend and their place works pretty good. You can ask them if the two of you can shoot there. She may have a friend whose place would work, so you could ask her to ask her friend. You know, there's a lot of options you have here. You can also shoot at your makeup artist's place. If you're using a makeup artist and maybe all 3 of you are trading services to, get to that next level, if your place doesn't work and her place doesn't work and you don't have any friends' places that work, then ask your makeup artist if her place would work. So that's step 1, locking down your location. Step 2 is you need to recruit your model. Now, you can use your social media, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, if you're not squeamish about letting everybody know that you're shooting boudoir. If you are, then your next best option is to join a Facebook group whose members include photographers, makeup artists, and models. Those 3 are always grouped together usually. So join the group, find one in your local area, and post saying, hey, I'm doing a boudoir shoot, looking for a T4P model, and you should get some responses from that. Another possibility is putting up a casting notice on Model Mayhem. Just go to modelmayhem.com, open an account. They have a free option and then one for, paying money. You don't really need that one. Put your images on your page. You can contact models directly. You can do a search in 5-mile radius, 10-mile radius. And you can also post a casting notice. Now, Model Mayhem used to be used a lot more in the past. It's not so much used today, at least where I live. I think Facebook groups have kind of taken over Model Mayhem. But, where you live might be different. So that's an option for you. And last but not least is Craigslist. Now, you can post a notice on Craigslist. I probably wouldn't recommend it. Be ready to reject a lot of people, but it is an option. If you're new to an area, you don't know anybody, post on Craigslist and see what you get. You can always say no. So step number 3 is to set a date and confirm. So this step is really about confirming, because when you're doing a T4P shoot and your model has no skin in the game, there's no, she has nothing at stake if she doesn't show up, except she doesn't get pictures, then you're dealing with a flake quotient, a flake factor. I've done T4P shoots in the past where they've been really good experiences, and then some where they haven't even shown up or bothered to call you. So you're going to run into that if you do get into this T4P world. So a way to kind of avoid that or reduce the chances that they won't show up is to stay in constant contact with your model, sort of like every other day leading up to the day of the shoot. So call them, don't text, call them, because you want to hear their voice. You want to sense any hesitation and talk about wardrobe, talk about the makeup, talk about anything they want to talk about, sort of just so that you're sort of building this relationship with them and that they feel they have a lot invested in you, in you and in doing this shoot. And that will cut down on them not showing up. Now, the reason they would not show up is that at the last minute, they get offered to do something that's more fun that they'd rather be doing. And a rule of thumb is that the younger the model is, the more chances there will be that they flake. The older the model is, the less that's going to happen. So be aware of that. And step number 4, finally, is have a posing guide on set where you can refer to during the shoot. Now, it can be images on your phone that you can scroll through, a binder where you keep pictures of. I have a binder that I constantly put pictures in that I cut out of magazines that have interesting poses. It's great because you can refer to it and you can show your model exactly what you're going for. Now, I would not suggest winging it with the posing. A critical part of boudoir photography is the posing. And I am a constant student of posing. And on the day of the shoot, you're going to have so many things going through your head that you're thinking about. You're going to be thinking about your camera settings, getting the proper exposure, how the light is hitting your model, her expression, framing the shot, and then posing. So that is the most important part of the shoot is, you're practicing boudoir photography, and a huge part of that is the pose. So keep it simple. Have 2 standing poses, 2 sitting poses, 2 kneeling poses, and maybe 2 lying on a bed or lying on the ground poses that's all you're going to work on. That might even be too much. I'd rather have you do fewer poses and really take your time in finessing them and fully exploring each pose than running through a whole gamut of poses that just are not that great. So you can get a whole variety of shots with one pose by shooting at different angles and different distances. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have your model is lying on a bed. That's your pose. So you can shoot her from, let's say, from the right at 45 degrees, head on, from the left at 45 degrees, and then a bird's eye view overhead if you have a ladder or a chair that you can get up above her with. So you have 4 different angles, and then you have 3 different distances that you can shoot each of those 4 angles at. So you have the wide angle shot, the full body shot from head to toe, sort of like an environmental portrait shot. Move in midway, you have your midway shot, mid-range shot, and then moving in further still, you have close-up or detail shot. So you have 4 different angles, 3 different distances. That's a total of, I know I can do this, 12 different shots with one pose. So you have 2 poses, you're already up to 24 different images with those 2 poses. So that's what I mean by fully exploring each pose. And that is it. So to wrap it all up, for your TFP Boudoir shoot, you want to lock down your location, recruit your model. Number 3 is set a date and confirm. And number 4 is have a posing guide on set that you could refer to. And that is it. So like and subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you in the future at some place in the YouTube universe. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey guys, I just got back from a run around the neighborhood, and I forgot to mention in my video that I have an article titled How to Set Up Your First TFP Boudoir Shoot on my blog, on my website, loungeboudoir.com. So I'll have a description, I'll have a link in the description, loungeboudoir.com/first T4P shoot, that you can click on. It'll take you right there if you want to read more about these steps. All right, thank you so much. I will see you again at some point.